Welcome to This Week with Old Sarge. Having a little camera difficulty, but I think we got her figured out. So, this week, talking about minding your signs. Now, everybody's been out there on the interstate, and they got a fairly good system out there for signage. Driving along, you want a particular ramp. Well, there's a big old preparatory sign that says, that ramp's coming up. Give you a little time to prepare, work your way over that right lane, maybe slow down a little bit, and sure enough, you see got your preparatory sign, you got your execution sign. Exit here, execute that ramp. Yep. So, works out pretty good. Pay attention to your signs, navigate yourself around pretty good. So way back when I was out of the Hope Station, shout out to you guys, got a call for an accident early in the morning. So, all right, fire up the old troop car and here we go. Start pounding east, heading up that Allamuchy mountain. Well, now Allamuchy mountain in that morning, she's getting a little foggy. So as I was pounding eastbound there, I had to throw out the anchor a little bit, slow down, but I know the road real good, like back of your hand like you ought to. So I know the cut's coming up where I can jump from the eastbound lanes to the westbound, so I got myself in the left lane, going nice and easy, limited sight distance because of the fog and all that, taking it easy, getting there safe. Come up on the cut, bang a lefter, go down and back up the other side, stop there before I get into the westbound lanes, taking a little look. Now, an off-duty police officer called this in. He's heading home from his shift. So, I know there's a car alongside the interstate somewhere that I should find, which would be the off-duty police officer. So, I'm looking, trying to see if anybody's coming westbound there, because that cut's a little tricky to get out of. Looks like she's pretty clear, so I pull out in that left lane and give her the willy a little bit. Just to get up speed in case somebody, comes sneaking out of the fog at me, and work my way over that right lane pretty quick and slow down and start looking. Sure enough, go over the top of the mountain there, coming down the other side past the old preparatory sign for exit 19. And then we're coming up on the exit for the overlook. Now, this overlook's a little tricky. It's a doggone 15 mile an hour suggested speed to take that ramp. 65 mile an hour on the interstate down to 15 mile an hour, because that little entrance ramp there, she's 180 degrees hard right. And if you're doing over 15, you probably ain't going to make it. Stand a good chance of ripping the sidewalls out of your doggone tires trying to make that turn. You're going too fast, because they're pretty good curb there. So you make that hard turn in the overlook, nice little parking lot, and then there's a nice little exit coming out. But then in between them two, the entrance and the exit, there's this concave area. Just beautiful grass. Looks like water would sometimes sit in there if it rained real hard. But then that exit goes on down and merges into the 19 ramp, or you can get back on the main line. So I roll up there, and we're real close to the overlook there, almost at the entrance of it. I find this car, and I pull over there and hit the old emergency lights on. Let the dispatcher know I'm out with them. Get out, and there's three fellas standing there. And I said, you guys involved in an accident? Two of them raised their hands, didn't say anything, and the third one, he says, well, I'm the off-duty police officer. They flagged me down, and I called it in. I said, oh, well, I appreciate that. Did you happen to see the accident? He said, nope. And I said, fellas, you injured? They're like, no, they're just shaking their head a little bit. They're kind of quiet. I'm like, are you sure you're all right? And they're like, we're okay. I'm like, all right. So I said, well, thank you very much. I'll take it from here, sir. And off-duty police officer gets back in his car, gives a little wave, and away he goes. And I said, all right, fellas, where's your car at? And they said, well, it's down the hill. And I said, well, what do you mean by down the hill? Is it further down the hill on the main line, or, did you run off the road on the right-hand side or something? But they're not explaining it real well. So I said, just hold up. I said, let's just go back in time. You're driving westbound here, and you come over the top of Allamuchy Mountain. What happened? And they said, well, we saw that sign says, exit 19's coming up in a mile or so, and it's foggy, we're doing about 45 or 50, and then all of a sudden, our headlights pick up this sign that says exit. So we just, whoop, tried to take that exit ramp. But it wasn't exit 19, it's a doggone overlook. And you ain't going to make that. You ain't going to make that doggone turn at 45, 50 mile an hour. They eased off of that right lane onto that exit ramp. Next thing they saw was a curb. Boom! Right over the curb, down into that concave bowl area, popped out the other side, smashed through the top of the wooden guide rail, went down the side of the mountain, screaming, woo! Fortunately, there's a bunch of little trees that grow up there on the side of the mountain. They'll snare up your car pretty quick, just kind of bring you to a stop. And I said, you sure you're okay? You took that exit ramp, I got to get the statement for the accident report. You just went straight instead of turning. And they said, yeah. And then I said, you went Evel Knieveling out of the other side of that thing and just took that top rail off of there. Yeah. You sure you're okay? Yeah. All right, we'll get your wrecker out here and tow that doggone car back out. Woo! Every time I drive by there, even today, there's always a brand new piece of wood on that top piece right there. Right in line with, if you were going too fast, you'd do the same thing and Evel Knievel right off the side of that mountain. It's always a brand new piece of wood. All the other guide rail pieces of wood are all brown. This one's a pretty green, treated lumber. Always looks brand new. DOT must keep a hell of a supply of them things, knowing they're going to need them. So doggone mind your signs. So shout out section this week. Shout out to all my B troopers out there doing the JOB. We appreciate you. You keep your doggone oath forefront in your mind, doggone it. And you best be keeping track of each other. Military, we appreciate what you're doing around the world. Things getting all sideways and crazy again. Y'all out there doing that professional job, and we appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you very much. So till next week, me and Christmas Pig, bye now.